I never used to mind driving home late at night. There was something peaceful about it. The empty roads, the low hum of the engine, and the way the streetlights blurred across the windshield. But that peace only lasts until you realize you're completely alone and something might be watching you. That night started like any other. A cold, miserable winter night in Northern California. I had just finished my shift, a little after midnight. The rain had already started, but by the time I stepped outside, it had turned into a storm. I stood under a flickering streetlight, fumbling with my keys, already soaked. All I wanted was to get home. But home was an hour and a half away, and the fastest route was Highway 89. Locals call it the Hollow Route, a long, winding road that cuts through dense woods and empty farmland. People say it's cursed. Truck drivers talk about seeing figures standing on the side of the road. Others say cars just disappear. I never believed any of it until that night. The rain hit my windshield like gravel as I turned onto the Hollow Route. The road was almost invisible, just darkness and the faint glow of my headlights. The radio kept cutting in and out, nothing but static. I tried to focus on the road, just trying to stay awake. That's when I saw him. A man, standing on the side of the road. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, but as I got closer, my headlights lit him up. He was real. Tall, soaked, standing completely still, with his hand raised, asking for a ride. My gut told me, don't stop. Just keep driving. But something else kicked in, the thought that maybe he needed help. So I slowed down, rolled the window down slightly. "Hey man," he shouted over the rain, "my car broke down. Can you give me a ride?" I hesitated. Then I sighed. "Yeah, hop in." The moment he got inside, something felt off. The car filled with the smell of wet clothes. "My name's Luke," he said. "Ryan," I replied. At first, everything was normal, just small talk. But then, I noticed something strange. He never took off his gloves. Black leather gloves, completely soaked, and he kept fidgeting with them. That sound, that faint squeak, started getting under my skin. Then suddenly, he asked, "You ever get that feeling like someone's lying to you?" I glanced at him. "I don't know." He just smiled and went quiet. A few minutes later, he leaned forward. "Take a right here," he said. I frowned. "That doesn't go to Cedar Creek." "It's a shortcut," he insisted. I don't know why, but I listened. The road got narrower. Trees closed in from both sides. The rain got louder. Everything felt wrong. Then his voice changed. "Slow down." It wasn't friendly anymore. It was serious, almost shaking. That's when I saw it. Movement in the trees. Shadows. At least 4 figures stepping out onto the road. My heart dropped. What the hell is this? Luke didn't move. "I told you to slow down." That's when it hit me. This wasn't random. This was a setup. I slammed my foot on the gas. The engine roared. Luke grabbed the steering wheel, but I hit him hard in the ribs. "Get off me!" He tried again, but I shoved him back and kicked the door open. Rain flooded the car, and I pushed him out. I didn't stop. I didn't look back, not until I was miles away. And when I finally did, I saw them. 5 figures, standing in the rain, one of them holding a light, watching me drive away. I made it home that night, but I didn't sleep, not even for a second. The next day, I called the sheriff's office. They checked the area, but they found nothing. No people, no cars, nothing. But before the officer hung up, he said something I'll never forget. You might want to stay off that road. People out there don't like strangers at night. That was 3 months ago. I haven't taken the hollow route since. But sometimes, late at night, when it rains, I see headlights behind me. Close. Too close. And when I slow down to let them pass, they don't. They just stay there, waiting, watching. There's something unsettling about places that look too perfect, too clean, too quiet, like they're not meant to exist. That night, I was driving alone, heading north through California, somewhere past 3 in the morning. The road was empty, completely silent. No cars, no lights, just darkness stretching for miles. That's when I noticed my fuel gauge, almost empty. Great, I muttered. I'd already passed a couple of exits earlier, thinking I'd find something better. But now, there was nothing. I checked my GPS. One location popped up. A small blue marker. Station 46. About 10 minutes off the highway. I didn't have a choice, so I took the exit. The road narrowed almost immediately. No streetlights, no signs. Just trees closing in on both sides. The deeper I drove, the quieter it got. Even the insects had gone silent. And then, I saw it. A glow in the distance. A gas station. But something felt wrong, even before I got close. When I pulled in, everything looked perfect. The lights were bright, too bright. Every inch of the place was spotless. No trash, no stains, not even a single tire mark. The pumps looked brand new. The glass windows crystal clear. And there were no cars. Not one. I turned off the engine, and suddenly, the silence hit me. Hard. No wind, no movement. Just the faint buzz of fluorescent lights above me. I stepped out of the car. The air felt colder, unnaturally cold. My breath visible in front of me. Inside the store, it was even worse. Everything was perfectly aligned. Every snack, every bottle facing the same direction. It didn't even smell like a gas station. No coffee, no fuel, just clean. Behind the counter stood a woman, mid-20s, wearing a red and white uniform, standing completely still. Her name tag read, Elena. "Hey," I said slowly. 40 on pump 1. She didn't move at first. Then suddenly, her smile appeared. Too fast. Too perfect. "Of course," she said. Her voice was calm, but flat, like she was reading from a script. As I handed her the cash, I noticed her hands. They were shaking, just slightly. "You okay?" I asked. She blinked quickly. "Everything's fine." But it wasn't. I could feel it. I stepped back outside, trying to ignore the feeling. That's when I heard it. An engine, low and distant. Headlights appeared, at the far end of the road, cutting through the darkness. A black SUV. It rolled into the station slowly, too slowly, and stopped. But no one got out. I turned toward the store. Elena was staring at it, frozen. Her expression had changed. That fake smile was gone. Now, she looked terrified. I stepped closer to the window, trying to see what was wrong. That's when she moved, just slightly. Her lips parted, and she whispered one word: "Run." My heart dropped. Before I could react, the SUV doors opened. 2 men stepped out, dark hoodies, faces hidden. One of them started walking toward the store. The other just stood there, watching. That's when Elena ran. She bolted out the back door into the darkness. I didn't think, I just moved. I jumped into my car, started the engine, and drove around the building. She was there, running. "Get in!" I shouted. She hesitated for half a second, then dove into the passenger seat. "Go! Go!" she screamed. I floored it. Gravel flew behind us as we sped back onto the road. "What the hell is going on?" I shouted. "They followed me," she gasped. "They've been following me all week." "Who?" "They're not normal." I glanced at her. "What do you mean, not normal?" She shook her head. "That station? It's not even open anymore." My stomach dropped. "What?" Before she could answer, headlights exploded in the mirror. The SUV, right behind us, and gaining fast. "Don't stop," she whispered. "They won't stop." Suddenly, bang! The SUV rammed into us. The car jolted forward. I gripped the wheel tight. "Hold on!" "They'll shoot the tires next," she cried. "They did it before." My heart was racing. The road twisted ahead, barely visible through the fog. Then, in the distance, I saw it. A sign. Bill's 24-hour Mart, 5 miles. Our only chance. I pushed the car harder. The SUV hit us again, harder. The mirror cracked. The car shook violently. "They're getting closer," she screamed. Then, suddenly, red and blue lights, sirens. 2 police cars burst onto the road, blocking the SUV. It skidded, too late to escape. I pulled over, hands shaking, barely breathing. They dragged the men out of the SUV, forced them to the ground. And for just a second, I saw one of their faces. His eyes, completely black. And he was smiling. By morning, everything felt normal again. The fog cleared, the sun came up. But something didn't feel right. As I passed the exit again dawnly, I looked. There was nothing there. No gas station, no lights, no building. Just trees, empty land, like it was never there. And sometimes, late at night, when I'm driving alone, I see it again. That same perfect station, glowing in the distance, waiting. There's a difference between being alone and being followed. That night, I wasn't alone. It started right after I picked her up. Elena. She slammed the car door shut, breathing heavily, barely able to speak. "Go," she whispered. "Just go." I didn't ask questions. I just drove. The road ahead was dark, fog crawling across the pavement, and the only sound was the engine struggling under pressure. "What's going on?" I finally asked. "They found me," she said, her voice shaking. "They've been following me for days." I glanced at her. "Who are they?" She didn't answer right away, just stared straight ahead. "They're not normal," she said quietly. Before I could respond, headlights appeared behind us, too bright, too close, the same black SUV. "They're here," she whispered. My grip tightened on the wheel. The SUV accelerated, closing the distance fast. "Call the police," I said, reaching for my phone. "No," she snapped. "They'll hear it." "What do you mean?" Bang! The SUV slammed into us from behind. The car jerked forward violently. "Hold on!" I shouted. The road twisted ahead, barely visible through the fog. "They'll hit us again," she said. "They want us to stop." "Not happening." I pushed the accelerator harder.
The engine screamed. The SUV stayed right behind us, matching every move, every turn. It wasn't just chasing us, it was controlling us. "They did this before," she said. "They don't rush. They play with you." Another hit. Bang! The rearview mirror cracked. "They'll go for the tires next," she said. "How do you know that?" Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Because last time, I didn't get away." A chill ran down my spine. "What do you mean, last time?" She didn't answer. The SUV's headlights flooded the car again, blinding. I could barely see the road. Then suddenly, a sharp turn. I took it hard, tires screeching. The car almost lost control, but we stayed on the road. "They're gaining," she cried. I checked the mirror. The SUV was closer than ever, and for a brief second, I saw inside. Two figures, completely still, not talking, not moving, just watching. Then I saw something else. The driver's face. His eyes. Pitch black. No white, no reflection, just darkness. And he was staring directly at me, smiling. "Don't look at them!" Elena shouted. I snapped my eyes back to the road, heart pounding. "What are they?" I whispered. "I don't know," she said, "but they don't stop." Up ahead, a faint glow appeared. A sign, "Bill's 24-hour Mart, 5 miles." "That's our chance," I said, "if we make it there." Another hit, harder this time. The car shook violently. "They're trying to push us off," she screamed. "Not tonight," I muttered. I pressed the accelerator all the way down. The engine roared. The road straightened. The sign's light grew brighter. Closer. Closer. Then, sirens. Loud, sharp, red and blue lights exploded into the darkness. 2 police cars sped toward us, blocking the road behind. The SUV tried to brake. Too late. It skidded sideways, trapped between the cruisers. I pulled over, hands shaking, barely breathing. Officers rushed forward, weapons drawn. They dragged the men out of the SUV, forced them to the ground. I watched, trying to make sense of it all. And then, one of them looked up, right at me. His face pale, expression empty, and those eyes still completely black. He smiled, slowly, like he knew something I didn't. An officer knocked on my window. "You're safe now," he said. But something about the way he said it didn't feel right. Later, they took Elena away for questioning. She never looked back, never said goodbye. By the time I got back on the road, the sun was rising. Everything looked normal again, quiet, peaceful. But I knew it wasn't over, because sometimes, late at night, I still see those headlights, far behind me, getting closer. And when I check the mirror, for just a second, I see him, smiling.
There are some places you should never stop at. Not because they look dangerous, but because they don't look dangerous at all. That night, I was already 4 days into my road trip, driving alone, crossing states, heading toward California. Everything had gone perfectly. Smooth roads, clear skies, no problems. Until the detour. My GPS rerouted me off the highway onto a narrow road cutting through miles of forest. At first, it felt peaceful, but after a while, something changed. The road felt too empty. No cars, no lights, no signs, just trees closing in on both sides. And then I saw it. An old gas station. The sign read, "Harper's Service Stop." The paint was peeling, lights flickering, and a rusty pickup truck sat out front, covered in weeds. It looked abandoned, But I needed fuel, so I pulled in. The moment I stepped out of the car, the air felt heavy, still, like the world had gone quiet just for me. The pump was ancient, rusty, barely working. A faded sticker read, "Pay inside first." So I walked toward the store. The door creaked open with a weak bell sound. Inside, it smelled like dust and old oil. The shelves were messy, expired food, broken packaging, and behind the counter stood a man, tall, thin, wearing a greasy cap. His eyes locked onto mine the moment I walked in. "Evenin'," I said, trying to sound normal. "Need to fill up." He didn't smile, didn't nod, just stared. "Pump works," he said flatly. "Pay first." I stepped closer, pulled out cash. "How much for a full tank?" "Cash only," he replied. I handed him the money. That's when I noticed his hands, dry, shaking. Then suddenly he said, "Hold on, gotta grab change." I frowned. The register was already open, plenty of cash inside, but he walked away anyway, into the back room. For a moment, everything was silent. Then I heard it, whispering, low, faint, like he was talking to someone, but I hadn't seen anyone else. When he came back, something had changed. His eyes were wider now, more alert. He looked me up and down, slowly. "Where you headed?" he asked. "L.A.," I said. "You alone?" That question hit wrong. "Yeah, why?" He didn't answer, just smiled, a forced smile, then nodded toward the window. "Nice car." I grabbed my change quickly and left. Something about that place felt off, really off. I filled the tank as fast as I could, and the entire time I could feel it, like someone was watching me, from inside, from the darkness. The moment I finished, I jumped into my car and drove away. 10 minutes later, I saw headlights behind me, bright, close, too close. They were following me, matching every turn, every move. "Not good," I whispered. I pressed harder on the gas, but they stayed right behind me. Then suddenly, pop! The steering wheel jerked. The car swerved. A tire had blown. I barely managed to pull over. That's when it hit me. The clerk, the delay, the whispering. He did something to my car. Panic set in. The headlights behind me were getting closer. I didn't think. I grabbed my bag and ran straight into the woods. Branches scratched my face. The cold air burned my lungs. I hid behind a fallen tree, trying not to breathe. Minutes passed. Then I heard it. A car door. Voices. Through the trees, I saw them. 2 men. One of them was the clerk. The other, heavier, holding a metal pipe. They walked toward my car, smashed the window. "Where the hell did he go?" one of them said. "He ain't far," the clerk replied. "Check the ditch." I didn't move, didn't breathe. They searched for me, flashlights cutting through the darkness, for what felt like forever. Then finally, they left. But I didn't move, not for a long time, because deep down, I knew they might come back. And they did. By morning, I was freezing, exhausted. I stepped back onto the road and somehow got help. Later, at the police station, I told them everything. When I mentioned the name Harper's Service Stop, the officer went quiet. Then he said, "That place burned down in 2003, after a robbery. 2 bodies were never found." I thought he was joking, until they took me back to the exact same spot in daylight. There was nothing there, no building, no pumps, just a cracked concrete slab, burn marks,
and silence. I don't know who those men were or what I really saw that night, but one thing still bothers me. When I ran into the woods, I swear I heard more than two voices. There's a moment when fear stops feeling like fear and turns into survival. That night, I wasn't running anymore. I was being hunted. After my tire blew out, I didn't think. I just ran, straight into the woods. Branches tore at my clothes, scratched my face, but I didn't stop, because I knew if I stopped, they would find me. I dove behind a fallen tree, pressing myself into the mud, trying to control my breathing. My heart was pounding so loud, I was sure they could hear it. Then I heard it. Car door slamming. Voices. Getting closer. I slowly lifted my head, just enough to see through the trees. Two men stepped out onto the road. One of them, the gas station clerk. The other, bigger, holding something in his hand, a metal pipe. They walked toward my car. Without hesitation, they smashed the window. Glass shattered across the road. "Where the hell did he go?" the bigger one growled. "He ain't far," the clerk said calmly. "Check the trees." My blood ran cold. They knew. They started moving toward the woods, toward me. Flashlights cutting through the darkness, beams of light sliding across the ground, getting closer, closer. I pressed myself deeper into the dirt, didn't move, didn't breathe. The light passed just inches from my face. For a second, I thought it was over. Then one of them stopped, right in front of me. I could see his boots, mud dripping from them. "Think he ran deeper?" the bigger one asked. The clerk paused, then said quietly, "No, he's close." My chest tightened. I gripped the knife in my hand, ready. If they found me, I wouldn't go down easy. Seconds felt like hours. Then suddenly, a sound. A branch snapping, somewhere deeper in the forest. Both of them turned. "There!" the bigger one shouted, and they ran, away from me. I didn't wait. I moved. Slow at first, then faster, deeper into the woods. I didn't stop until I couldn't hear them anymore. The rest of the night, I stayed hidden. Every sound, every movement, felt like them coming back. The cold crept into my bones, my hands numb, my body shaking. But I stayed awake, because I knew if I fell asleep, I might not wake up. Hours passed, and finally the sky began to lighten. Dawn. I stumbled back toward the road, weak, exhausted, not even sure where I was. Then headlights appeared. I froze. For a second, I thought it was them, but it wasn't. An old couple. They slowed down, rolling the window. "Hey, you all right?" the woman asked. I couldn't even speak. I just nodded. "Please," I whispered, "take me to the police." A few hours later, I was sitting inside a station, safe. Or at least that's what I thought. I told them everything. The gas station, the men, the woods. The officer listened carefully, then asked one question. "Did you see anyone else?" I hesitated, then remembered something. That moment in the woods. The voices. More than two. "I think," I said slowly, "there were more." They took me back there later, in daylight. Everything looked normal. Too normal. No gas station, no car, no footprints, nothing. Just trees. Endless, silent trees. But as we were leaving, I looked back one last time, and for just a second, I thought I saw something. Between the trees. A figure, standing completely still, watching. Even now, I still think about that night, about how close I came to not making it out. And sometimes, when it's really quiet, I hear it again. Branches snapping. Footsteps, just out of sight, getting closer, like something is still out there, waiting.